Hello and welcome to the Wynonna Earp Recap Podcast here on Amber Plaster's YouTube channel. Please make sure you have subscribed to Amber Plaster's YouTube channel. We are discussing Season 4, Episode 5, Holy War Part 1. That's right, it's a two-parter. I'm Yael Tygiel. I'm joined by my lovely panel. Amber Plaster is here.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Kari Lane is here.
What's up, everybody?
Alexis could not make it, but usually Alexis Torres is here.
She was here last week to help cover for me last week. So it's like we're switching off, you know? We're tag teaming it.
Exactly. Let's jump into it. Someone is excited about Wynonna Earp. Let's jump
I know, she is. She's like, let's go.
Holy War Part 1. What did y'all think of this episode?
Oh, this was a fun one. I did see some people online kind of like, oh, I can't wait for people, you know, if they saw it ahead or whatever. But there's some fun moments, and I like some behind the scenes photos that have been going around on Twitter afterwards too.
Yeah. Amber, what did you think of this episode?
So good. It was so good. I loved the someone tweeted Jeremy breaking the fourth wall at the end.
Yes.
Just like it was just a nice little reminder, like, we're taking care of you. There's crazy things happening. Don't worry about it. Like, this is such a nice little moment. So much chaos. And I knew they were going to bring Rosita back. The second they mentioned her, like in the first episode, I was like, finally, they're bringing her back. Because that actress had a kid. And I was like, they're just waiting to bring her back because that character is too good not to bring back. So I didn't know who was going to be in the painting, but I'm glad it was her.
You know, it's funny. Let's jump into that. I had a feeling that it was going to be her, literally because they had seen her in that picture at the museum, and they were like, oh, this baby snatcher. And I was like, wait, so obviously Rosita's in the painting. Right? Because like, you just reminded us that she exists.
Yeah.
I noticed that too. I didn't quite connect, like she'll be the person in the painting, but thought, why bring her up unless there's going to be more with her? So I was like, oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah. I will say I have missed her since we last saw her. And,
agreed.
Right. And I did not know that she went off to procreate, and that's why she was missing. So I really do appreciate her coming back.
Me too. She was such a fun character, and it felt unfortunate of like real world into show of like, ooh, maybe we'll have you go and then you'll come back. And I mean, it's worked out well because I'm glad she's back.
Absolutely. It works with the story. This whole Peacemaker Wyatt Rosita situation. Yes.
Yes.
Kari.
We have a live chat, which everybody, thank you so much for joining us and waiting. But somebody had a really cool theory, and it was a discussion, so sorry if I can't remember who it was, but they said maybe it was the innocent people who died by Peacemaker that are still around, and that's maybe why Rosita's still around, kind of a something. And I was like, oh, like it's a loophole outside of the curse. Because there were some revenants, as we discussed, that aren't like evil.
Right, absolutely. I know that there is a lot of discussion as to why Rosita is still around when all the revenants are gone. So that's a really great theory. I like it a lot, actually. I do like this idea that we're getting more from Wyatt, and Doc has to like have this existential crisis, which is funny because later I put that Holt also is going through an existential crisis. So it's really interesting to see this, and the whole Doc shot first thing. I'm like, listen, Star Wars nerds, calm down. It seems like a real reference they're throwing in there. I really enjoyed seeing this museum, seeing more of Wyatt. What did you all think of this concept that there's a museum here?
It makes sense. Even small towns can have museums of some sort, like whatever topic, like a stagecoach museum or whatnot. And if this is a, very Western town, and it was nice to see more Purgatory, because I feel we only know like a couple spots. And it was nice to see other normal people, which that was also like, wait, who are these people?
Yeah, I agree.
It felt a little bit weird that the town was empty and then all of a sudden there was 300 extras in the museum, but least of my problems in this series. There are a lot of storylines that do not connect, and I am not here for any of that. I don't care. The show is so fun. I literally don't care. And I think it's one of the few shows I can say that about. Like, where did those high schoolers come from? Don't care. The joke was worth it. Mean Girls. Loved it.
It's funny that you say that. I think it does make sense though, because this is the Ghost River Triangle Museum, not specifically the Purgatory Museum. And if I understand correctly, and I'm leaving this to the chat and you all that maybe look, I don't do geography, but Ghost River Triangle is the area, Purgatory is a town within it. Yes?
That makes sense. I hadn't thought of it that way, but that makes more sense too, because maybe it's like not necessarily in Purgatory, the town itself, but like 15-minute drive next door.
Right. I feel like it's like I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and in that, there are lots of little towns.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Because I also feel like towards the end of one of the seasons that they were racing to the edge of the Ghost River Triangle, and it was just like snow and nothingness. Like, it didn't look like it was any part of any town. It was really, really far away. Remember, like, that black, I think it was like when Waverly was like overtaken by that black monster like flu that was coming out, and it stopped right at the edge of the Ghost River Triangle. And that didn't seem like any particular place to me. So it feels like you said, almost geography. Yeah.
I really very much hope the chat is agreeing with us, because geography. I did enjoy this nun situation, and that's a rare thing for me to say. I did really like this idea.
I feel like it's a rare thing for most people to say, to be fair.
Good. Okay, great.
I was going to say, but Warrior Nun's a cool show. Side note.
Literally about to say the second time I've enjoyed nuns this year. I like this idea that there are these women who are like, we're helping women. I'm a big fan of that. That's my kind of nun.
It makes sense. It was kind of this cool, mysterious place, which within the Ghost River Triangle absolutely works. So like, yeah, sure, there's like a secret society of women, and you don't necessarily go walk in the door, and Doc can't go in.
I do like that.
I love that. I love that, like, he was like, whoa, wait, and then snaps back to her, and they were all like, welcome.
I was reading something about it, and I do like that she wasn't like, who are you? What's happening? She was like, all right, next. She's done this. She knows what's happening.
Yeah.
But we find out that they have Peacemaker, which I do appreciate that it's somewhere that makes sense. When we first got this concept from Eamon that it might be that these demons or some supernatural creatures have it, it really bothered me that the idea that some revenants like picked it up and were like, this is mine now. That seemed weird.
They got tongs and were able to.
Right. So it seemed reasonable to me that these nuns would have it. But the idea that she can feel it, but it won't come to her was so interesting. What did you think about this?
I like it. It makes sense. It gives a little more personification to the item itself. And also we got to give props to the joke later. If she can't make it come, can't make her come. I think she's more specific.
Yes.
And she even goes, that's what she said. But yeah, I like it because we've already personified Peacemaker already. So this made more sense to even expand upon that. And it's like Excalibur, or, there's other mythical items that you could have a connection with. And it's like, nope, you're not ready. I'm staying over here.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Doc's explanation of how its journey, her journey is over. She's not the heir. It doesn't need to do this. And so it kind of feels like Wynonna needs to find her place that, and like, kind of woo the gun sword back. Yeah.
It's like they have to establish a new connection because their previous bond and their previous arrangement is not applicable anymore. So now it's like, hey, we need to figure out something new. And as Wynonna was saying, like, I still need you and I still need something. But I guess maybe Peacemaker needs to feel more purpose.
Yeah. Amber, you looked like you had something to say.
I mean, I really did not like that her gun was being difficult.
No, I agree.
Like, I don't have time for it. Just like Wynonna, I'm like, reveal yourself. Like, like, come on, we've been here. But I actually did. I think Kari has a good point that it kind of it opens up an opportunity to start a new relationship with the gun, a new covenant, if you will, because so much of the first season and the beginning of Wynonna Earp was like the Revenants and her and the gun story. And so it was a good way to kind of remind us, because we need a lot of reminders because it's been 2.5 years, that like it's not about that story anymore, but we can still use this gun in a new story and respect it. And I was like, this is just really interesting. So I'm kind of more open to the fact that it's having a sassy personality now, playing hard to get.
It's interesting because it feels like, to bring this to our world, like when your phone is not working or being finicky and you're like, why? I need you to do your job right now. And so I feel that frustration.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a little bit about the beginning of the episode with this Gothic wedding. I have to say, first of all, the dresses. I love them.
Yes.
The idea that Wynonna is wearing barely a dress to her sister's wedding feels so on brand and so inappropriate and so perfect.
I was kind of concerned for her. I'm so cold.
I love that like thigh-high boot.
Yes.
Slit. I was like, I didn't know I needed this dress before, but now I do.
Yeah, I'm not usually one to discuss costuming, but this was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the wedding, Doc's bleeding from his eyes. And it reminded me of last week when we had Tim and he kept talking about, did we notice, and I honestly did not, how Nicole was behaving towards Doc. And this episode, I paid a lot more attention to that. And I believe that it's going to tie into this curse because she's attacking Wynonna. And it seems like, not to get too prediction-y, but I'm guessing the curse is she agreed to kill Wynonna and Doc because the Clantons, right? The whole story is about the OK Corral where Wyatt and Doc, murdered people. So that could be she'll save Waverly, who's not in Earp.
Yeah.
And she'll make Nicole kill Wynonna and Doc. That's my theory.
And she misses Waverly so much that she would agree to something so extreme.
Right.
I hadn't gone that far.
It seems a little weird that she would agree to that.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, that's why she feels so bad. That's why I feel
like it's something just off of that where it's like, you have to deliver Doc and Wynonna to me. Like, I feel like it was something that wasn't like, kill them immediately. I feel like it was something like very funny language that she was like, okay, well, we'll figure that out later. Like she was like, yeah, that's scary, but I'm sure they can figure. Like, I don't think she agreed to specifically murder Doc.
Right.
But I wonder what it is that she whispered.
Yeah, because they also said death is too good for them. They need to be destroyed.
Oh, right. Good point. So it could be, yes, it could be something similar, deliver them, bring them, whatever. But I think that's, yes.
Well, I also wondered if Doc, being supernatural in his new way, can detect it more and maybe it repels more, because later in the barn, he really was like, whoa. And I think that was one of the more recent contacts he had with Nicole while the curse has been more active, I guess. And he seemed to be really like almost repelled by it. And so I wonder if it's like, smell or something where he can sense something's different. Right. And that's why he's like, whoa, back up, like, something's off.
Interesting. The only reason I thought kill is because she literally throws a knife at her.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
But she tried to burn down the house with her and Waverly inside.
I think she has a kamikaze curse. Like I think she's just meant to be a bomb. I don't think it's anything too calculated.
Interesting. Yeah. When it came to the burning down the house, I thought that maybe this is Wynonna's house, right? So Wynonna should be in it. And that was my thought, that Clantons don't care if if Hot and Waverly are in the house, they care that this is Wynonna's house, so we can burn it down.
That's a good point.
Interesting. I mean, all of these things are possible. I really do like the idea that every time she tries to explain or says what she remembers, she throws up frogs. I mean, it's gross, but I like when there's a curse and part of the curse is you can't explain it. You can't write it down.
I love the writing it too. It's like, how do we just write it? It's tadpoles.
Yeah. I think that's so clever and makes it such a scarier curse.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if there can be a way to get around it, like charades, like get close to it. Because every time they get kind of close to it, it's like, well, change the subject. Nope. It's literally a frog in her throat. I
mean, to be fair, like they should fight. Like, yeah, she's gonna keep throwing up frogs, but at least we'll know if we're close or not. You know what I mean?
True. You could do process of elimination.
Right. It's like hot or cold.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if they didn't try some form of frog charades next episode to get. I mean, at some point, there's gonna be a montage of her puking and them trying to figure it out.
Or could she draw frogs that help indicate what the curse is?
Excellent questions. All of these are excellent questions. Speaking of weird questions, I want to talk about Eamon and his issue with the Clantons. He just doesn't like them because they're powerful. Like, he's like, they're too influential. That's it. How do we feel about that? Do we trust him, or do we think that this is just his excuse?
I buy it.
That Eamon doesn't like the Clantons just because they're too powerful, and he doesn't bottom for anyone.
I think that answer's good enough for now.
Okay.
I think he's pretty neutral, or he has something up his sleeves, but obviously whatever it is, he's not trying to act on it right now. So they've got one fire at a time.
Yeah, I feel he's more, as he said, he doesn't play sides. And then Doc makes a comment about, like, essentially gentlemen have to pick a side or something at some point or whatever to make a stand. And I think that resonated with Eamon, that he's like, he had that pondering moment of thought process. So maybe like he has been a little more whatever side benefits him, but maybe now it's a bit more like, all right, maybe I'll help the other team.
Interesting. We also have this moment where Ma'am or Margot, or however you'd like to refer to the oldest woman of Clantons, the Clanton heir, that she's no longer worried about who the next heir is, because her curse might be over, which is why I think, not to keep harping on my theory, but is why I think that the plan is Wynonna and Doc to be destroyed somehow. I
guess then nobody else knows about the baby. Their baby?
No, because the baby was removed from town, was rushed away. Which also, when she returned, total minor detail, when they returned to Purgatory at the beginning of the season, I was like, great, the curse is broken, and you think you can go back to life. Why didn't you send for the baby?
I think they felt baby will grow up without them.
I think they gave up the baby.
Yeah.
Forever?
She's older.
I mean, it's not like they're chill right now.
Yeah, Wynonna's not exactly mommy material at the moment.
And like the more you have
dangerous.
Half foot in, half foot out, it becomes like dangerous for both locating the daughter and the emotional stability of the daughter is just kind of like, I think she just tried to rip the Band-Aid off and do what was best, but I'm sure she has moments where she would like to see her, but
yeah,
I thought the intention was to just kind of hide her.
I definitely thought that it was relevant to the curse, and that once the Earp curse was broken, she would try to get the child back. But maybe that's season 6. Who knows?
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just going to say it. If we're going to do it, then the baby magically ages up. That's my only request. I don't need children on this show. Just saying.
I don't want another Twilight.
Yeah.
No.
I want to talk again about this Clanton Air situation. Then we have Holt's existential crisis. He, with him and Cleo being so, I guess, kind of like shunned by their own family. They were on top and they lost it to BBD. What is their life looking like? Because I think until this season, they kind of lived quietly in purgatory. And didn't make their move. And now they made their move, and now they got sent back to nothingness. What do you think is going on with those two?
I think with Cleo, she might still stir up some trouble because she definitely doesn't like waiting for something to be done. I think it's for him. I think he might not necessarily come to the Earp team, but he might be a bit more like, I just don't want to play anymore. Like, I'm over it. Because he said, like, I'm tired. I think he's kind of over all of this, everything. He's like, I'm done. I just don't want to even be involved anymore.
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like that's how Wynonna has been. She was like, I don't want to do this, but she still did. Amber, any thoughts on them?
I think Cleo is a really great character, and I think that she would be the first one to switch teams if she could.
Oh, I like that.
She's sort of like the Captain Jack Sparrow of the show. Like, if you cage her in, she's no longer loyal to you, and her man is caging her in. And Wynonna would never do that to her.
I do really like Cleo and hope that we get more.
I do too.
She's a fun bad guy.
She's a fun problem. Yeah,
exactly. Speaking of her, Jeremy comes in, takes over the office. I will say, I really like the fact that she had like a leopard print couch with other print pillows. I really did like that. I'm shocked that Jeremy was not a fan. And
I like that they acknowledged it for the audience. I think that's what happened. They were like, there's going to be some weird, really unpolice-like things in this office now, and we're going to let you know that by this conversation.
Yeah. I do like that BBD kind of came back and was like, nope, we're in charge again, which was nice. And I'm interested to see how that goes. I also liked the conversation with Jeremy and Nicole about where he's been, because he did abandon her, but he also did what he had to. Like, I totally see both sides of this, and I'm frustrated for both of them. How do you feel about Jeremy?
I think it's great that Nicole and Jeremy kind of finally had that conversation, because I don't think they've had an opportunity to express those feelings. Because, I agree with both of them that they both kind of feel like you left me, but they both had to do what they had to survive. And I think expressing that maybe could help get to where they need to be a better team. I did almost feel bad for Chloe that they kept her couch. I'm like, but it is her couch.
Nah, don't feel bad for Chloe. She'll go steal some other leopard print couch.
That's true.
I want that couch.
I appreciated him kind of teasing Waverly and Nicole too, of like, oh, so that's what they're calling it now. Like, it felt like things were more back to normal for them.
And yet there is no answer about where Robin is.
Yeah, that's getting even weirder. He's like, he's safe. I'm like,
Is he safe?
Yeah.
Is he in a box? Did you shrink him down and put him in your pocket? Where is he? How safe?
Yeah, if they don't bring back Robin this season, then I'm convinced it's just an actor scheduling issue, because we're all very curious as to where Robin's character is. It would be too good not to bring him back.
I'd be so amused if it was an actor scheduling issue, and the way they solved it was, we haven't figured out where his story's going because we don't want to know when he's back.
Safe. We know you want him. We'll figure it out.
I honestly really hope that's what it is. That's so funny.
I mean, there's no other really good reason. He plays into this season really well.
Right.
He's a great addition, and he's such a fun character, and it's
because he's kind of a helpful sidekick character. We don't know much about him, so there's plenty of room to explore that character. I just don't think they had they either didn't have time for him in the story, or I think more likely he didn't have time for the casting or whatever. I don't know. It's weird.
And him and Jeremy are so cute together too.
I know.
He would play very much into the Clanton storyline, because if we recall, his family's one of the the original Purgatory families, right? That was the whole thing with the vampires.
Yeah. They needed him. Yeah, his blood was more old to the area,
right? Something like that. So it's interesting because he would know. Maybe the Clantons were after him. I don't know. He definitely plays into the storyline. It's very odd that he's not there, but I do like your theory. Any other thoughts on things that happened in this episode before we move on to our faves?
I thought what's the name of the monster? Clayton.
The Reapers?
Yes.
The Reaper.
Oh, we didn't get to talk about
Rachel.
Right. Yes. I love that we got to see her bow as he's starting to change.
That was so sad.
It's very sad
there. I wish they had gotten a little bit more time together.
I wish, this sounds odd, I wish she had gotten caught by her team off snooping there, because they need her. And they explain to her, we are a team. We'll do this together. And then we'll go and deal with that other issue. We're not forgetting about it. It's just not the top priority at this time. And I wish she had gotten caught and brought back in and reminded of that, because I feel like that's going to happen next episode. And at that point, so much has happened that we have to fill her in. And so I wish that she had gotten caught earlier in the episode.
I was worried for her the entire time she was there. I was like, oh, please don't let her get caught by the bad guys or any of them or any critters. But I hope she's able to escape and get back to her team. I mean, she has a little bit more verification for herself that she found the phone and sees all the unread messages and knows he's not purposefully avoiding her. Hopefully she's thinking that. But I agree.
Can you imagine trying to see where someone is and then going to their home and only finding your missed text messages and not their body? My stomach just sank as I saw those just scrolling up, and I was just like, oh no. Get out of there!
I wonder, we don't know much about the Reapers, but I wonder if their connection to each other could be so strong that it could make it so he doesn't necessarily kill her.
Ooh.
Can love overcome?
They do seem somewhat sentient. Yeah.
Yeah. They're not mindless. So I wonder if he can resist if there's something still there. Because that would also make it a little more interesting instead of if he's just I am destruction, I'm going to kill you. It's that'd be almost kind of well, darn, that sucks.
Yeah. I'd really love to see their interaction once he's full Reaper.
Yeah.
I think that will...
if she'll recognize him or feel I know you.
Yeah.
Well, she couldn't see him.
Right.
This is true.
Which I actually thought was interesting, because wasn't he supposed to kill her? So why wouldn't she have a little stone in her pocket for being marked?
So she was never marked. She was wearing Wynonna's jacket. Wynonna was marked.
Well, I know, but
that's why
the mom was I'm gonna punish you by making you kill her.
Right.
That's what I thought too.
Why?
I might have an explanation, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
Is that to do that, they had to turn him. So he's currently in the process of being turned, and they haven't marked her yet.
Yeah.
Because we've seen that you have to cut the hand and the blood on the thing, on the picture. We haven't seen her be marked. Ooh. So he sacrificed himself not for her. He did it for Wynonna, which he was unaware of.
Oh, bummer, dude.
Yeah. Right? So that's why I want love to overcome and him to have come
be able to fight it. Well. Oh!
And watch. The only way to save him is true love's kiss.
Well, maybe it doesn't have to be quite so corny, but maybe.
Maybe.
I don't think this is her love. I don't think this is Rachel's love story. I think if we get a Rachel love story, it's going to be next season. I don't think it's going to be this boy. I
don't either, but I think it'd be really funny if they try. Especially if it doesn't work. That'd be great. I also wanted to talk a little bit about, I know I was complaining last week with Tim about Doc not doing Wynonna. And yet again, he just wants to get to know her better and talk, which is funny because she points out that they don't talk about everything. Sir, if you would like to talk, then talk. And then when she wants to get down, get down. Those are my
I liked that moment though, between Wynonna and Doc, where she said, like, we're kind of bad at communicating with one another. Like, there's so much unsaid right in that line that I was just like, their relationship is so fucked. Like, I don't know how they're gonna fix this, but I really hope they do. But yikes, you guys. Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah.
They still have a strong connection to each other, so at least there's that too, because they care deeply about each other. Oh, actually though, I love the moment at Glory Hole where Amon was trying to get all cozy with Wynonna, and she seemed to be feeling that a little bit, which I don't know if that's just because his charm or something, but I like Doc kind of pinching himself between them, like, excuse me. It's like, aw.
I really love that Doc and Wynonna aren't exclusive, but do get jealous sometimes, but still are down to be, open, which I think is wonderful. I really love a flirty character. I love that we have 3. I love like that can't help it.
I think that's a good way of putting it. I love Eamon because he is a flirty character. I love flirty characters. They're just fun to watch on screen. I love them all as a thruple though.
Yes, I support it as long as they're
like
safe.
For like a power thruple,
I'm so down.
A danger thruple, if you will.
Just be safe. No more babies, please. Just be safe.
Oh my God.
That's another question too. I wonder if they could still have babies if he's a vampire. Like, are you still fertile as a vampire?
I think the hope is probably not, but
I would think not, because then I think they just don't make babies. But
all excellent questions. Next time we have a vampire in the show, we will definitely have.
We will go in depth.
Does anyone want to share their favorite or least favorite moment of the episode? I think there were some really great lines. I do like the "I don't bottom for anyone." I do like when Nicole was drawing or writing and it came out and they thought it was sperm. There were some really fun lines. But I think my favorite moment is the beautiful Gothic wedding outfit.
Nice.
That's my favorite.
I would have wanted to know what Waverly would have worn to that wedding.
Right.
I agree. Love the goth wedding. So many good jokes in this one. For Peacemaker, Can't Make Her Come. That was funny. And yeah, I really liked Amon and Doc and Wynonna, their interaction. I really hope we get more of that because they're very entertaining as a group talking together. And that's just talking together. I'm like, can we do more? And yeah, just Doc's cute jealousy moment of, but she doesn't belong to anybody, but I'm going to get in your way.
Right. I like that the chat is excited about the pink fuzzy handcuffs.
That too. Yeah, we didn't. Well, I guess that's something we didn't talk too much about is just how Waverly and Nicole, how their relationship is right now, that Waverly's holding Nicole's hair back at times of when she's throwing up. Got to have that friend.
Yeah.
And partner.
And we end with the cliffhanger. How many people were any of you actually concerned?
No, they'd bring her back somehow. Like, even if they killed her.
Yeah, no.
Like, can we get a defibrillator or something and jumpstart her heart again? Technically you can die for, some seconds and it's just, you got to worry about brain damage. But sure, they'll bring her back.
I think my least favorite moment would be when Nicole walks into the kitchen, transfixed on the cure, and dumps it down the sink. I'm sorry. You knew she was possessed. You were making the cure for her. What are you doing letting her do anything? Tighten the rope, Jeremy. Get it together.
Yeah, I think that's
my favorite part for sure.
That's definitely fair. I think the idea, the least favorite for me, is we know for a fact that this show isn't going to kill Waverly or Nicole, just out of pure fact. But we also are on a show where people were in the Garden of Eden and we brought them back, and people were in hell and we brought them back. Like, death isn't final on this show. So I don't feel like there are stakes to her being drowned.
That's a good point. I back to what Amber was saying too. I was almost disappointed that nobody in the group felt, wow, Nicole's being really weird. Like, yes, she's been weird already, but nobody felt her other behavior things were like, maybe something's wrong, you know? And they live in a place where weird shit happens all the time. So it's like, come on, somebody should be like, maybe something's up.
Yeah, but a lot was going on though.
But still, even like Waverly should have been a bit more like, you're even weirder than usual.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably I didn't see where Nicole was going with handcuffing Waverly in that scene. I thought she maybe might be possessed. But I really like that I didn't know that we were going to go into the bar and see Nicole being dunked underwater. And also before that, my favorite part was like, hey, so you owe me one, right? Yeah, we're friends. Great. I'm gonna ask you a big favor. I'm gonna need you to kill me. Like, I was just like, oh, of course that's what her plan was. Why didn't I figure that out? Oh, so good. And like, that's something that I would do too if I was in the situation. I'd be like, okay, you are not gonna agree to this. I'm gonna handcuff you. I'm gonna take care of the problem. Someone kill me. Like, just like the straightforwardness of that. I was like, oh, it's just so Nicole.
Yeah,
I'm surprised I didn't catch the fourth wall thing while I was watching. I didn't think of it that way, but I felt like, wow, this is a really interesting camera like angle for right now. And he's like talking, but I didn't think like the show going, don't worry, trust us. It's like, oh, that makes sense.
It really, I think it's a really smart move in terms of how they shot it. I think that's really clever to do it. It's clearly to this character, but it's also to the fans. I think that's wonderful. I also think if you're part of this fandom, then you know that they're not going to do it because Emily has said that she's not going to do it. So like,
so for anybody that's new to Wynonna or this sort of topic, can you explain burying the gaze?
Yeah, so there's a very popular trend and a trope that has happened through television history where a queer character, as soon as they find happiness, is brutally murdered or killed in some way. There are very, very passionate fans from The 100 that can tell you a lot more about this because there was a very ridiculously done murder right after two characters found each other, and I'm not going to go into more details on that because I am not a viewer of The 100, so I cannot speak to that, but I do know that that is where the last straw was and that same week, I believe, on another show, literally that same week, I want to say it was on The Walking Dead, a lesbian was shot. Also, both of these, I believe, were stray. One was a stray bullet and one was a stray arrow. Like, just
almost seemingly coming out of nowhere.
Right.
With no bad guy. Yeah. Yes.
And these seem to be not new things. This is just a thing that constantly happens. It also, there are a lot of tropes that happen on TV. And Emily Andrus, the showrunner, has said that she will not continue this trope. So knowing that that the characters will be put into danger and they will have other suspense, but you do not have to worry that they're going to do something as drastically stupid as that.
So should we have a hair more faith that Robin is okay?
Yes, I think we should believe he's okay. I mean, he's safe.
They said he's safe, so yeah.
I definitely
see him more.
I just think he's been shrunken and put in a pocket somewhere. Like, I genuinely think he's safe, like frozen or, you know, like literally in a safe.
Like,
you know?
Suspended in time somewhere. Yeah.
You know, I kind of had that thought too.
Because he keeps saying he's safe. So he's in a safe. Okay.
Or in a safe house.
Yeah.
Also
or a safe
great.
room.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't there a safe room in the back of the bar of Shorty's where we found the body of Bobo or something like that in the first season?
I don't recall.
It was one of the literal skeletons in the closets. So there might be like I don't know, maybe he's stuffed away somewhere.
Maybe. Shall we head into predictions? Have we predicted this whole time?
I pretty much. It's okay because it's the penultimate episode of the season.
Yeah.
I can't believe. First of all, we have a 2-part mid-season finale. I'm not a big fan of cliffhangers, so it's been really hard for me not to watch the next episode before we talked about this.
Me too.
Ooh. But next week is our mid-season finale, which is crazy. Any predictions?
I hope Rosita is going to be a constructive character instead of just being there. And because she's so interesting as a character and a person that it's like, can we have her back and be part of the whole solving it or helping Wynonna? On the teaser for next time, they kind of made the Unknowns look a little ominous, that I kind of hope that that's not really where they're going to be, because it'd be unfortunate if they're like bad, or it'd almost be like, oh, okay, they're bad too. Like, we need more allies for our team. So I'm kind of hoping that that's just maybe misleading for us, the viewers. And I'm really hoping that them like killing Nicole right now, air quotes on that it's just to break the curse and that it works, because our team never catches a break. And it's like, come on, like I want them to be able to overcome some of the obstacles that are being thrown at them.
I like those.
I predict that Rosita will be back. She will be pissed. She's wearing red. She has literally been labeled the scorned woman. Hell hath no fury. And that is, I mean, it's a terrible saying, but it comes from something. The truth. If you have a woman that is just giving and giving and giving to you, and then you burn her, how do you think that is going to work out in your favor? Do you think it is going to be forgotten? No. Do you think there's a chance in the world where she doesn't end up looking at, or working at the glory hole?
Oh,
because
I like
that is her vibe.
Yes. I think Amon would like that
She's
too.
already a bartender, so
yeah.
right. Interesting. I think Rosita is going to come back. I would love if like the nuns do their thing and then she's better and then she joins our team again. That's what I would like. Although I also predict that Nicole punches her in the face for that kiss all the way back when.
Maybe.
Yes, I predict it.
I don't think so. I don't think Nicole holds on to stuff like that.
I
don't know. Yeah.
I would be I mean, she is possessed, but no, I don't think she's that insecure. I think she's just like, she knows that way.
It's not insecurity.
I think Nicole would say something before she would punch her in the face.
Yeah.
She'll punch Wynonna in the face, but I think
they have that relationship though.
Yeah.
All right. I'll allow it. I love it. Thank you all so much. Thank you to my wonderful panel. We will be back next week. to do this again for the mid-season finale. Until then, I want to know where everyone can keep up with you, because I'm sure you all have a lot going on.
Yes, guys, thank you so much for being here on my channel. We do, I will put it in the description. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, we will have the first couple seasons of Wynonna Earp from our podcast, because we have covered every single one, in the description below, as well as where you can find the social media of the whole podcast team here, there. I also have another podcast if you're into gaming. It's called Gaming and Gabbing. I'll put the link below. And we are talking all things video games, and we will be talking about Final Fantasy and The Last of Us coming up in a few weeks. And you can find me here or anywhere on the internet, because my name is weird. My name is Amber Plaster, and you can find me there. Carrie, where can they keep the conversation going with you?
Yes, thank you. You all can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's KARIDLANE. And then hop on over to Instagram. Follow me there, because I'll be talking with Deneen Melody, who's a voice actress. We'll do that in about a half hour. And if you're watching this later, you can still go watch it on my IGTV. And I'll also be talking a little bit later today with Megan Salinas about the new anime on Netflix called BNA. And I'm super excited to talk about that show because it's so good. And again, thank you everybody for joining us.
Yeah, I'm everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. Right after this, come on over to my Twitch channel right now. We're going to just chat about things while I play Candy Crush. And also, I have a new show on that hashtag show called Streaming Wars. And I have a new show on Fanversation called Super Lady Hero Hour. Super Lady Hero Hour, that's what it's called, where we talk all things superheroes, and we're just a bunch of ladies. So find me on all those places. Thank you again for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, and we will see you next week. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.